In this video, I'm going to take a moment to talk about a concept known as soul contracts, also known as spiritual contracts. And what a lot of people may not realize is that before we incarnate on the earth, we get together with a number of souls on the other side and we draw up a contract. And what that contract is, it's like a project plan in a way where you say, when I incarnate, I want to do this, this, this. I want to be born here. I want to have a family with 2 brothers, 1 sister. I want to grow up in a working class area. When I'm in my 20s, I want to meet the love of my life. Or I may want to be with somebody else and it not go well and then meet my soulmate, etc. And I want to learn this and this lesson. And you also have different exit points as well when you want to leave the earth plane as well. Some people do have a misconception about soul contracts. One being that, well, if your life is planned out, then how on earth can you make choices and have free will? Well, a soul contract is not completely set in stone. In other words, the contract will say that there's certain aspects of your life which are predetermined to some extent, but all the rest is for you to decide. You may choose to move to the Caribbean when you're 30 years old. You can go ahead and do that. It's up to you. Your soul contract is more about non-tangible things that you need to learn, like what's the best way to describe it? Like maybe learn to be more compassionate, learning to take care of others. Now that can be achieved in a number of countries and a number of circumstances. Doesn't really matter. You get to decide that because you are driving the vehicle. Your soul contract also has some degree of flexibility as well. What I mean by that is it could have several different clauses and circumstances that can be triggered based on your free will. Like for instance, let's say you had a soul contract initially to learn about compassion. Maybe in your initial soul contract, you was going to meet somebody, a very nice girl that you went to school with. She was going to teach you to be more compassionate and to think of others a little bit more. What about if you had an experience in your life completely driven by free will that made you stop and think, hold on a minute, I need to think about others more. Maybe a grandparent had an accident and you was the first one at the scene. Maybe that particular incident made you stop and realise that, hold on a minute, I can't keep thinking of myself. There are people that need me. What that would then trigger is a different trajectory, a different version of your contracts. You may not meet that person because you no longer need to learn about compassion in the same way. So 2 people that were supposed to meet each other may no longer do so because your contract has changed as a result of free will. I know it can get quite confusing, but think of it as like a project plan in a corporate sense. Project plans rarely stay as they are throughout the life cycle. They usually change. Maybe the customer wants something changing, or a deadline wasn't reached and it had to be extended or completely changed, or maybe a customer puts in a change request. And your soul contract is very similar to that actually. it's always got an opportunity to change and evolve based on your free will choices. The same applies for what it says in terms of when you may choose to depart. But I won't go into too much detail about that at the moment. I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview of what I think the soul contract is, and why people have soul contracts. I probably didn't mention that actually. Yeah, the reason why people have soul contracts is to learn. It's as simple as, really. We all have different soul contracts. We all come here to achieve different things. And that's why we're not all born equal. We are equal in the sense that we are all divine souls that come from source. But our human incarnations are very different. And that's great in my opinion. Wouldn't be good for us all to be the same, would it?